So you've done the hard thinking, you know who your community is for. And when it comes to actually building the space, well, it's starting to look like a little bit of a blank page. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 essential steps just to help guide you get that hub started, the hub that you're trying to create, the community, the membership you're trying to create. And it's all backed by real research and designed to help your people feel ready to show up. Hey, I'm Nikki Kelly. I'm the founder of Wisdom, a private platform where you can host your courses, clients, and community all in one intuitive space. And you've been sitting on a great idea, but you're unsure where to start, like many of us do, right? We want to have a course out there, we want to sell it, we want to start a membership, but we just don't know where to start, right? But in this particular video, I'm going to help you work out how to get that community, that membership flowing. So I'm going to show you how to build momentum and connection from day one, just using 3 smart, practical steps. We're not talking about strategy decks or months of content planning, right? We don't have time for that necessarily. We have an idea and we just want to get rolling with it. But this is about setting up your hub in a way that just invites people in. It makes them feel safe to participate, curious to even explore what you've got to offer, and excited to actually stay. And these 3 actions come from proven research in education, in UX, which is user experience, and behavioral psychology. And they work whether you're hosting up to 10 people or 1,000 people. So most community spaces tend to fail. It's not because of the idea being wrong or anything like that. It's usually because the setup in itself, the community, the space they're coming into, doesn't really help people engage. And there's 3 things that matter when it comes to this. The first one is psychological safety. Now, that's like a team safety thing. So people need to feel safe to participate. And when you think about it, it does come down to having a shared belief. You know, we always say building a membership or community of like-minded people. Well, that does have a meaning to it. It basically means a shared belief that a community is safe for interpersonal risk-taking. And what that basically means is that people in themselves will say, okay, I feel this space is really safe. I feel this space has what it's going for me. I'm happy to sort of jump in and talk more about what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and ask questions. The second thing that you need to think of is what we call behavioural activation. And this is what builds momentum. It's an action that builds momentum, right? So this is used in therapy for depression and so forth, but it's applicable here as a principle in itself for behavioral change. You know, when you want to get people to get coming into the space and feeling comfortable and confident, right? You don't want them to be confused. So what you need to do is think about small, low effort steps just to really encourage people to get that ongoing participation in your space. Don't confuse behavioral activation with something that's in chemistry, right? There's like a term, activation energy or something like that in chemistry. I never studied chemistry, but I have heard of it before when I was understanding and trying to understand the psychological side of these things with behavioral things. So getting back to the point of this, behavioral activation, it is about introducing small, low effort steps. And those steps will get people feeling like, okay, I can get into this. This is easy. The involvement isn't too intense. So I can just start getting there, and you'll find momentum building from that. And then the third one, and this builds on from the first 1 and 2, is first time user experience. How it feels for people to arrive into your hub. Now, first, they're wanting to feel like they're safe. And 2, they're wanting to see what they have to do. But the third step, which is that first time user experience, is how? Where do I need to go? So this is all about new members deciding quickly if the space feels valuable to them and active enough. So it's you sharing that information, getting people to feel comfortable when they arrive and seeing what the activity is inside your hub, inside your membership, and the rhythm of inside that membership. So here's a couple of steps I wanted to share with, just basically that progress on setting up that community. And the first one is setting up that warm welcome loop in a sense, right? Making sure that it's just continuous for every person that comes in. It's a constant. So this is based on user onboarding research from the Nelson Norman Group. And this is where people decide within minutes whether a space is actually for them. And so we need to make sure that first experience is intentional for them. So what you need to think about are things like, and these are things to include when you're actually building this space and what to do, your tasks, would be a short welcome message. And that could be a video or a text. So for example, in our Wisdom platform, we've made sure that there is a news section. There is a section where as soon as a member pops into that space, they are introduced with a video or some text where the owner of that membership or, that community can actually share a welcome message, how to use this space, what's expected from me and from you, etc., to engage. So that short welcome message should be something like a little video, and video we always suggest is probably best. But it's all about sharing what this space is about and what to expect. Another one is a pinned post or an email showing 1 to 2 actions that they can take as soon as they're in the system, which could be something as simple as, hi, welcome. We all get those emails. And then what's the next course of action? So welcome, thank you for joining. Why don't you dive into the how-to folder or dive into our first, welcome session, which starts in a week's time. Click here to register, those kind of things there. And also think about something alive. You really want to give a visible sign of recent activity inside your community. And it might not necessarily be that engagement yet because, hey, we're trying to build a community. But what you can suggest is, hey, we've just introduced some new courses in there, or we've uploaded some new content in there. Have a look at it, have a watch, whatever it is. But really try and get that activity. Show them that there's things happening in the community. Because when people see that there's movement, there's action happening inside a hub, they're more interested to engage. And just remember, you're not just opening a group, you're actually hosting a moment. You're actually telling people this is what's happening right now. So you're giving them the indication this is live. So another step we have is just lowering the barrier to interaction. One big thing that I find is that sometimes, we just want to give everyone everything and we want them to get involved in all these different spaces. But then people will get confused when they first join your community. So what you really want to do is, based on the behavioural activation side of things, micro commitment principles do play a part here. We want to make sure that we're letting people know that they don't have to worry about having to dive into deep posts or content and read a whole lot of stuff to get involved. They can just start off with little steps. So some ideas that actually work in this area here is just, simple one-click poll. What are you working on this week? Or quick prompts. What's one thing that I'm hoping to learn in this hub today or this week or this month, whatever it is. And even light check-ins. Drop an emoji that sums up your day today. Those kind of little small steps, the safe steps for people who are just new, trying to suss out the space. These are really good ways to sort of get that behavioral interaction going, get that behavior going and understanding of this is what the system is. This is what the hub is all about. These aren't just icebreakers. They're actually momentum builders. So as you're asking for the smaller steps and people get more confident, you can start asking for more intense questions, to ask more feedback, things like that. So the next step is just all about seeding your space with anchor content. And this is all based around that learning theory and the user experience, the onboarding. People want to know what this space is. What's the rhythm here? So you want to give them an idea of this is the content that, you're here for, right? You're in the right place. So you might want to start with one origin post, why this space was created and who it's for, so they can get a good understanding. This is what it's all about. And then a quick win post could be something. And this is usually something that you might introduce on a weekly basis and keep that rhythm going. It could be something useful or surprising that they can take away with them frequently. Another thing could be a conversation prompt. Low pressure. Remember, we're keeping it really light, but it could be something that's just very open-ended. You don't want to have a close-ended question or anything like that. You do want to have something that could entice thought and questioning and so forth. So these 3 pieces will give your hub a rhythm, like I've said, or give it a heartbeat, and it's just a reason for people to return. So just to recap, starting a community and building that community, it doesn't have to be hard. It's just got to be thinking about the people and how they're feeling before they enter into that community, making sure that space does feel safe for them and it's comfortable for them to open up. So having that warm welcome, that video there in the beginning, for people to come to. Really easy. It just calms their mind. Okay, so this is the space I'm entering into, right? This is what I'm here to expect. Okay, cool. And this is what you're asking of me. And what you're asking for me at the moment are just small little questions that I don't have to give too much away for, because I'm still trying to get comfortable in the space. And then the content, okay, so I get it. Every week there's going to be a walkthrough, whatever it is. There could be a newsletter. There could be a, small win activity challenge, something like that. But just giving those new members, the people that you're bringing into your community, an easy understanding. These are just small intentional steps for you to really create that connection with those members before your community even starts growing. Now, in the next video, I will be going into more about why your space might feel quiet at first. And we do have some other videos from previous weeks as well. But this one is called the 99-1 rule. And it will just shift how you sort of see engagement when it comes to your community. So hit subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell, and let's make sure that you continue that journey of building that community of yours. See you in the next video.